So the next day, I forget it. We were in our podcast group chat, and I made a joke saying like, "Oh, my door fell off like Tommy Boy today," and nobody laughed. Nobody acknowledged it. They actually just moved on from the conversation. So then I was like, hurt, like hurt that one, nobody found it funny, and two, nobody, like Brendan especially, didn't ask if anything happened. So I made up that it's costing me $500 that to fix, and that it's gonna. And he's like, "Oh, dude, I'll help you pay for it." Like, well, I was like, whatever. And then I made up that it's way more actually. And then Nicole, my producer, photoshopped an invoice for this thing. Her boyfriend then changed his voicemail to my town's Mazda dealership, and we had Brendan call them and like try to haggle and pay for his half of the thing, and he ended up giving his credit card number and everything, and was going to be paid. I think he was going to be charged like $12.50 or something like that to his card, and he was like panicking. He didn't buy soap because he's like, "I just can't this week, man. I just spent $1,200 on this fucking car thing."
And I don't think like a lot of people have contact. Like, at least when I was with Brennan, like he was, money was kind of tight. At least when I hung, like he's trying to fucking make things work in New York.
That would hurt anybody.
Yeah.
$1,200 is
He's
tough.
riding the train from Queens.
Yeah.
Like he's not like.
Yeah. And he's got it. He made sure to say, he was like, "Hey, I'm actually doing okay right now. Podcast is doing well." He felt good about it.
Yeah.
But he was like, "Yeah, it's gonna ding anybody." That is like brutal. Where he's like, "Oh yeah, I can't, I can't go keto this month. It's all spaghetti." So that was the whole thing. And then, the reveal, we then played the video. So Nicole, my producer Nicole, and her boyfriend filmed themselves prank calling him. So we heard him sincerely haggle and like trying to like get the price down.
Was it hilarious?
It's one of the most unfortunate videos. It's so fucking funny, dude. You gotta watch it. Here's the scenario: the pranking of Brendan Sagalow.
That's fucking awesome.
Unbelievable.
I'm looking forward to
and
that.
I never. I'm not like a prank guy. I actually get really upset at pranks. I have no sense of humor about it. Mike Feeney, the other co-host, he is a huge pranking guy.
His thing.
That's his thing, because he's like just such a fucking like, he'll just go and get people. He's unbelievable. Very, very manipulative and smart.
Was all this before Gramercy?
Yes, this was in the days leading up to Gramercy.
This is what you were doing.
This is literally how I was spending my time. Yeah, because the reveal was the day before Gramercy. I started this on Wednesday before so the show was on Saturday. I think he doored the guy Tuesday night. I started this on Wednesday, and it ended on Friday.
Yeah, and Gramercy was big for you.
Biggest show of my life.
Can you explain just to people watching, like, what that was? I mean, to me, fucking around with this during that week just is a testament of...
But that's the thing, is it presented itself. Like, I would have never thought to do this.
Yeah.
Obviously, so Gramercy Theater, I got the opportunity to headline it. It's my biggest theater to date, or my biggest venue to date, and it's in my hometown. It's also like, I opened for my brother-in-law's band there when I was like 11 minutes into stand-up. So it's kind of like a cool full circle thing in that. And I just have always loved this venue.
That's tight.
And so I got a chance to headline it, sold it out. Unbelievable.
Was it through Live Nation too?
Yeah.
Like, how did that all come together?
My manager, he did just like set the whole thing up. He's like, I'm pretty, I have a good work ethic, and I'm very lofty in terms of what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I got rid of my old manager. I won't even get into that. And then I got a new manager who is like just as similar, just a really good work ethic.
Because you're doing the road like a motherfucker, right? Like, this run, you're out here, and then I saw some of your dates. Like, you're traveling a lot, right?
Yeah. I mean, like two weekends a month typically. Like sometimes 3. I try to do half, but I'm working hard, man.
Dude, are you burning out at all?
No, not really, because it's all like new material and shit. So I got a new hour since last year.
That's tight.
So I feel really good about it, and I'm turning over material, and I'm actually like, I'm gonna shoot something I think in the summer, late summer, if not fall, and then I think I'm gonna try to write a new hour before that.
Damn.
Or at least have like the bones of something that I can kind of go out on the road and be excited about immediately. Because I don't know, this is all about, I feel like I'm hitting a good stride in terms of like my creative output, and I want to streamline it as opposed to like putting up blocks or trying to like, well, you don't want to do this or that. I want to let it flow out as much as possible.
So what's the model for that? Because you put your stuff on YouTube, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what's the point of doing that? What are the pros and cons?
I mean, to me, the pros and cons, the cons are that you just have to write new material, which is hard, but that's also a pro. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a lot more work.
It's forcing you to write.
It's forcing me to write, yeah, and it's forcing me to come up with new shit and think of things differently. But that's the entire point of doing this. So that's why I don't mind doing it. The pros of it is that it gives me another 60 minutes of content to clip out and send my little Cloverfield monsters into the world to gather new fans, to promote shows, to do whatever. So it's all more or less content stuff, but I'm in it because I want to build a body of work, and I want to build hours, and I want to be prolific, and I want to continue to push myself to just put shit out all the time.
Is there any like drawback to pushing that hour so fast? Like, do you ever feel like when you look back at some of the stuff you did, like you could have tightened it more, like done?
No, there's the stuff that I've done. For me personally, like the only thing I like regret technical stuff within specials, not the material. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty happy with everything that I've done, and I also just look at it like an old tattoo, where it's like, no, that's a moment in time. Like, that's who I was at that point. Yeah. So that's what I captured. That's the level. That's the comic I was. I wouldn't have put it out if I didn't like it at the time.
Yeah,
like I'd fucking scrap something before I put out something that I hated.
Yeah,
so. If I grow to not like it, that kind of just means I developed or progressed or evolved in a different direction.
Dude, it would be weird if you put something out and then 5 years later you came back to it and you're like, this is exactly what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign.
No, not at all. And like, the thing is, to most people, they could watch one of my specials and then another one and be like, oh, I don't really see the growth. And or like, it's not. They're like, yeah, it's different jokes, and I like this one better than that one or whatever. But there's so much stuff that we're doing that's kind of behind-the-scenes comedy stuff that the audience doesn't necessarily care about even, but that that's better.
Yeah,
than what you were doing, because your shit's not built on cards. Or built on sand. It's like, it's a strong foundation, and you've done the correct work.
Yeah. So what's helping you push that hour so much? Is it doing the road more, or is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think doing the road more, and I just think not drinking has helped quite a bit. Like that gives me, I wouldn't say clarity. Yeah, I guess clarity is kind of the word, but clarity, and also I don't have any days where I'm like wasted days where it's just fully, I can't and won't do anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just remember, because I'm a horrible hangover guy, and every single time I would drink, be great, probably have a good show, have a great time, then the next day would be like, it may not exist. It may as well not exist.
Yeah, Rosebud, she came on, she's sober, and like she mentioned, like, sober people just do comedy differently, and that like they're not out getting fucked up every night, so they recover quicker, and like I think there are pros and cons to it, because like I miss out sometimes because I don't use and don't drink. But I'm also present for everything. Yeah. And
you're not embarrassing yourself in front of people.
I still do, but it's
not in the same way. It's like, at least now, if you embarrass yourself, it'll be probably a joke that went too far.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, let me smell your pussy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like some awful shit that you're like all fucked up and you had no idea you even said.
Hey, if you like that video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and follow our page for new weekly content.